Well, hello there, everybody. Today's topic is going to be subtracting integers. We have the same standard as yesterday. Our first learning target, recognizing additive inverses are integers that are opposites, is the same as yesterday. And then our new learning target is to be able to subtract integers. I will say that today's topic is a little bit more difficult than yesterday's topic. If you did not understand yesterday's topic, you are going to struggle with subtracting integers. So my suggestion would be is to go watch a few more videos, go to YouTube, type in adding integers, and see how different people present it, and hopefully something will stick, because you really have to know how to add integers in order to subtract integers. We have our same new definitions, so I've put them there. And then we have this one major reminder. In math all year long, we have had the same thing. If I change one thing, I need to change something else. If I'm making equivalent fractions and I want a new denominator, in order to get that new denominator, I have to multiply the bottom number times some factor to get the new bottom number, and I have to do the same thing with the top. If I'm dividing decimals and I move the decimal on the outside, I have to move the decimal on the inside. Well, today you're going to learn if you change one thing, you're going to change something else. So let's get started. On this page, I have for you another vocabulary video. I really enjoy it. I'm not actually going to play it during this. You guys can play that on your own. I only have 15 minutes using this resource that I'm using to record this, and I do not want this eating up 3 or 4 minutes of my time. I will say I am not a fan of the number line method for subtracting integers. I really love it for adding integers. They use it for subtracting integers, and for maybe some of you, it'll be like, oh, yeah, this is simple. This is easy. I see the difference. But others of you might get a little bit more confused, so I'm going to go into our counter method. I do love the video for the way they keep driving home that you're just going to do a certain something as part of the rule. So it is an expectation that you are clicking on this and actually watching this video. And what I would do at this point in time of this video is I would stop my recording and I would go here and I would watch this first. Okay, so right now you're going to stop this recording and you are going to copy and paste this and watch the vocabulary video before going further. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you have stopped this, you've watched the vocabulary video, and you have a kind of an idea of the rule. All right, so now we're going to go to subtracting integers. I'm going to start with the mat on the right first, because this is a common one where most people will go, oh, 2 minus 5, that's 3. Oh, really? I have 2 Skittles and you're going to take away 5? That gives me 3 left? I don't think so. Okay, so let's show this with counters. Okay, we're always going to start with the first number on the mat. So this is what you have. This is what you're starting with. You don't change that ever. So I'm starting with positive 2. So here are my 2 positives. And here I need to take away 5 positives. Well, do I have 5 positives to take away? No, I only have 3 positives to take away. So do I simply just go, oh, well, that's easy. I'm going to add 3 more positives. So now I can take away those 5 positives. Good enough? No, because now this, before I take away the 5, is this 2. No, it's not. It's 5. I need to, before I take away the second number, I need to look at my mat and say, do I have what I started with, 2? And I don't, okay? In order to add these positives to the mat without changing my initial starting spot of 2, I need to make sure that they are 0 pairs. So I am going to pair up a negative with every positive that I brought over to give me 5 positives on this mat. Okay, now what is the value on my mat? Well, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is positive 1, this is positive 1, so that's 2 positives. So yes, I have 2 positives on my mat. Now I need to take away 5. Well, taking away 5 is 5 positives. So I'm just going to use my marker and I'm going to take away 5 positives. What does that leave me with? That leaves me with 3 negatives. And the answer is then -3. Okay? So let's come over here and do this one. Okay? This one, I have 3 negatives on the mat to start with. So I'm going to put 3 negatives on here. Okay? I need to take away 4 positives. Well, do I have 4 positives to take away? No. Well, all right. I'm just going to put 4 positives down here then. Okay? So, all right, now I've got 4 positives. I'm going to take away those 4 positives and end up with -3. Well, that doesn't make sense. If I have -3 and then I'm going to take away 4, I owe $3. Now I need to pay $4 for something, but I don't even have $3 that I owe somebody. That doesn't make sense that I'm still going to have my -3. What did we forget to do? We forgot to bring over 0 pairs to give us that 4 that we're going to need to take away. Okay, we changed the value of our mat, and we don't want to change the value of our mat. This is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, and this is our 3 negatives that we began with. So the value on our mat before taking away 4 positives is still my same starting spot, okay? Is still -3 because these cancel each other out. Now I'm going to take away 4. So I'm going to take away my 4 positives. So that's these 2 and these 2. And what does that leave me with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 negatives. So that is 7 negatives. Okay, so let's take a look at this really quickly. Okay, what did we actually do? Okay, here we actually took away 4 positives, which means we're adding 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives. Okay, if you watch the vocabulary video, you'll know exactly where I'm going with this. To subtract a positive number, it's the same thing as adding the negative number. Okay, so we change this to addition, make this the opposite, the additive inverse, -4, and now we can sing our song. Same signs, add and keep. These are the same signs. We're going to add and keep the sign. Okay, now let's take a look at what we did over here. We had 2. In order to take away 5 and get our -3, that is really 2. And what did we really end up doing? We're really adding 5 negatives there to get our 3 negatives, but we're just not seeing it in the same way there. So 2, if we have subtraction, we change it to addition. If we're going to change one thing, we have to change something else, and it's always the second term. We never mess with the first term. Okay, so let's go to these ones here when we're subtracting a negative. Okay, these ones are harder to do on the number line. Back here, these ones are easy to do. If I have a number line, okay, and let's just do that 0. So if I'm at -3 here, and then I'm going to take away 4, I'm going more in the negative direction. That's going to land me at -7. Here, if I'm at 2 right here, and I'm going to take away 5, I'm moving to the left 5. That's going to land me at -3. So if we're taking away positives, whether we're taking away from a negative or a positive, the number line makes sense. But if we're taking away negatives, that's where I think the number line gets a little tricky. Okay, so I like to show it with the counters. So here I've got -3, so I have to put 3 negatives on my mat. Okay, but what do I need to do? I need to take away 4 negatives. Do I have 4 negatives? No. So in order to get another negative that we need, I'm going to bring a negative and a positive over so I don't change the value of my mat. The value of my mat is still this -3. Now, do I have enough to take away 4 negatives? Absolutely. So I'm going to take away my 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives. And what does that leave me with? That leaves me with 1 positive. Okay. If you remember the rule from the vocabulary video, I keep my first number the same. So that is -3. I'm going to change the subtraction to addition. And then I'm going to change the sign on this, because if I'm going to change this, you can't just say, Miss Finling, I don't like subtraction, so I'm just going to do addition. No, you can't just make that addition. We have to add the opposite. And what's the opposite of -4? +4. And now sing the song. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. So these are different signs. I have a negative and a positive, so I'm going to take 4 minus 3 equals 1. Keep the sign on the larger number, then you'll be exact. So there's that. Okay, now let's come over here. We have a positive number, and we're going to take away negative numbers. So I'm going to pull over 2. I've got 2 positives here. I need to take away 5 negatives. So how do I take away 5 negatives? Well, I have to make sure I have 5 negatives on my mat. But I can't just bring negatives over. I need to bring positives over with the negatives to make a 0 pair, because I can't change my starting number of 2. So here I am pulling over my 5 0 pairs because I really need to take away 5 negatives. The only way to get 5 negatives on here is to bring over 0 pairs. Now, are there 5 negatives to take away? Yes. Did we change the value of our starting number on the mat? This is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0. What am I left with? 2. We did not change anything. Now I'm going to take away those numbers. So I'm going to take away 5 negatives. And what does that leave me with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positives. If we apply the rule, we're going to change the subtraction sign to addition. And we can't just say, Miss Finling, I still don't like subtraction. I'm just going to make it addition, so it's 2 plus -5. No, if we're going to change one thing, we have to change something else. So we're going to change that -5 to the opposite, which is +5. And subtracting a negative is really adding a positive. And I say this to my kids every year. If you take away your negativity, you are adding positivity out into the world. So I'm going to take away my negative, and that's adding my positive into the world. Okay? And so hopefully that made sense to you. Go back, replay it, look at another video if you need to. So what I have next for you, okay, just like the other day, I've got 3 different games to play. Pick one, pick 2, pick all 3. I really don't care. They're all pretty different. So check them all out first to see which one you want to play. You might want to play all 3 of them. I had somebody, Edmodo, message me that didn't do the practice games before going straight to the lesson and did really poorly on the lesson and went back and redid it after playing the games. Play the games first, okay? After you've practiced, go to Edmodo, click the forms for the graded formative assessment, which I still have yet to make, but by the time you are watching this, it will be made. And then I kept the song for you because it's my favorite. We'll sing it again. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Keep the sign of the larger number, then you'll be exact. Remember, this is just for adding integers, okay? So if we're subtracting integers, we need to change the subtraction to addition first, making the number that comes after that opposite, and then you can sing your song. So hopefully this helps and you are getting the knack of this. I wish you all a very lovely day. Bye-bye.